here. I'm just going to go ahead and introduce myself, and I will speak a little bit about today's topic, which is self compassion. And then I'm just going to jump right into two traditional practices that people find and research has shown to be very helpful. Um, and I'll also provide April and Rebecca with a link to handouts that has everything I'm going to talk about and audio files about what I do. So hopefully you can just sit back and just let this waft through you and over you in whatever way you find nourishing. This is your time. It's not my time. Uh, but my name's John Walker, and I'm a retired physician. And I came to mindfulness and self compassion relatively late in life and found it to be extremely helpful dealing with things like burnout in the clinic and stress and just interacting with people. And I can look back and now regret how I was prior to adopting these practices. Not I wasn't showing up for people in a way I would have preferred to. I wasn't really engaging in life in a way that I would have liked. So I redirected my career to be able to teach this stuff, have taken trainings and certifications and stuff. But but I want to make it clear I still struggle with this. This is a work in progress, but at least I'm highly motivated to help you avoid my fate so that hopefully you'll be interested in adopting these practices at a much earlier point in your life. Um, and, and this idea of self compassion recognizes the fact that we're all caring and compassionate people at heart, yet for some reason we seem to exclude ourselves from that circle of caring. And all you need to do is think about the difference between how you treat a friend when your friend is worried or upset or has done something shameful and how you treat yourself. You know, the researchers routinely point out that we'll say things to ourselves that we would never ever say, even to our worst enemy. And this is kind of a difficult thing because as we treat ourselves in this way, as we don't have our own back, as we aren't kind to ourselves, it eats away at our resilience. It eats away at our energy. It eats away at our ability to who we really want to be. And I think a lot of that comes, unfortunately, from our culture. You know, from a very young age, we all get these messages that, whoever we are, whatever we are, we're not enough. And so we have this deeply internalized sense, this belief that we're not worthy of being kind to ourselves, that we have to get our sense of reward, our sense of self-esteem from other people liking us or doing a bunch of stuff. And those things aren't necessarily wrong, but the research is clear. You know, when people actually take the time to relearn how to be kind to themselves, there's less stress, there's less anxiety, there's more motivation, there's more willingness to take risks and take responsibility. There's just you're tapping into a level of energy that you don't otherwise have, and it plays out. So when we talk about self-compassion, there really are three components. And again, this will be in the handouts, and I will also include this in the exercise I'm about to do. The first one is simply being mindful, just noticing that we're suffering. We usually don't have time to do that, or we don't think we're allowed to do that. If we attend to our own needs, we feel like we're not taking care of the world or whatever obligations we think we have. So the mindfulness piece is simply allowing and validating ourselves because something's difficult, even if it's something as simple as your phone running out of batteries. Yes, there's vast amounts of suffering in the world, but we need to start by attending to even the little difficulties with kindness and care, because that builds our ability to be with the tough things, and it builds our ability to engage the world in a way where we can make more of a difference. So there's the mindfulness piece, and then there's something we call common humanity, which is kind of hard to understand, but it really recognizes the fact that when we feel bad, we tend to isolate. We tend to feel alone. We tend to think that everyone else could handle this and I'm the only person that is failing at this, or I can't do it. Or, we go from feeling bad to I am bad. So the common humanity piece is simply reminding ourselves that we're not alone, that it's not our suffering, it's our collective suffering. It's a shared thing. And whatever we're going through, someone else, and usually millions, if not billions of people have experienced it and had difficulties with it. And that way we get a sense that in a deep level that appeals and nurtures our nervous system, we recognize that we're not alone and we're not broken. And this is part of being human. And finally, just the kindness piece, being kind to ourselves. Okay, and practicing that. So I'm going to offer two practices, and they're both designed to bring in these nurturing pathways. We all know we have fight or flight. We spend most of our day freaked out and worried and stressed. That's easy. But we do have these built-in pathways of support and nurturing and kindness. And usually we can tap into those pathways with simple things like physical touch and kind words, kind verbalizations. So I'm going to go through a series of hand gestures. And again, there'll be a handout on this. So you don't necessarily need to remember this, but think about what happens when you get bad news. There's this automatic tendency to go, oh, or oh. Our body knows it needs this kind of support, even if we don't think we have time, even if we don't think it's important, and we can't run home and hug a pet or our loved one or something. So we invite the option of supporting yourself with physical touch, and the research is clear. Something as simple as putting a hand over your heart can decrease the stress hormones. So I'll go through these different gestures, and you may want to see what I'm doing, and then close your eyes and just see if there's anything that resonates, anything that your body recognizes as valuable. So the first one is simply to take one hand and then put your other hand together as a gentle clasp, and then doing this down in your lap. I'll invite you to just settle into your chair and feel what it's like to hold your hands in this way. Maybe even closing your eyes if you wish, maybe taking a deep breath, letting the body soften. It's been a busy, hectic day. So just allow yourself a little bit of self care here to release tension in the body, soften into the breath, and feel what it's like to be supporting yourself, to be the holder and the held with this simple clasp of the hands. When I do these talks for healthcare, people often like this. They say it's a great way to resource themselves in the middle of a stressful meeting. And another gesture involves taking one hand out and the other hand in it, cupping your hands, and slowly bringing your hands over your chest. And really take some time to feel this. Okay, you probably spend a lot of time offering care out into the world with your hands. So can you allow that energy to flow towards you? Maybe even sensing it as a flow of warmth or light or energy. Just this sense of caring, opening your heart to yourself, offering this to yourself. And again, breathing, softening into the body. Sometimes people find they start to rock or make spontaneous movements. Feel free to do anything that nurtures you. Okay, this is all about self-care on a deep level. And another one is simply to take one hand over the heart. Okay, something you can do anytime, maybe circulating the hand or altering the pressure. And it's not just the gesture, it's the intention behind the gesture. Really have a sense of wanting to support yourself, wanting to let your body know that you're here, that you care about yourself, and that you matter. And then sometimes a hand over the heart and a hand over the belly. Again, feeling both hands, possibly even visualizing this flow of light, this flow of energy. And again, I want to be clear, there may be something here for you, a flicker of recognition, or there may be nothing, or you may not even like this. Everything is okay. Just trying to explore ways to offer ourselves support in the middle of a busy, hectic day. And another one is to take both hands and put it over your belly. Okay. Just this idea of really offering yourself this care and support, cradling yourself. In the belly, maybe there's medical problems here. Maybe there's discomfort. Often there's body image issues that have been kind of inserted into us by our culture. So, what does it feel like to really soften into the belly and offer yourself this gesture of care and support? And then sometimes people like to put a hand to their cheek or two hands to the cheek. And again, really let the neck soften, let the shoulders soften. Really just feel what it's like to be cradled and supported in this way. Recognizing that nothing may be happening or there may be something here. Again, just experimenting with this. Just softening, breathing, rocking or shifting as you need to. And another one that's popular in healthcare is just reaching across your chest and giving your upper arm a squeeze. Maybe rubbing your arm or a tap or a pat. Just again, this idea of letting yourself know that you've got your own back. You're here for yourself. And of course, it could also be a hug. Again, rocking, breathing fuller, easier, softening through the neck and shoulders. Again, just offering yourself this support. And so those are just some things to try. For myself, none of them resonated, but I recognized I needed something to deal with all the stress and the hassle. So when things went well in the clinic, a case went well or a really grateful patient, I'd put my hand over my heart just to feel that positivity, feel it kind of create this circulation and began to build an awareness of support with these simple gestures. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is called a self compassion break, and it invokes the three components of self compassion: the mindfulness, the common humanity, and the self kindness. And in order to do this, in order to work with compassion, we need to dip into a little bit of suffering. So I'll invite you to bring to mind a difficult situation, and you may be in the midst of one right now, some assignment or whatever that's maybe driving you nuts. But I'll invite you to make it something in the mild to moderate range. If you bring something that's difficult to mind, you can go into overwhelm. And these practices really need to be started with a gentle, easier level. Okay, so go ahead and just settling into wherever you are, eyes open or closed, maybe taking a few of those fuller, deeper breaths, just just to allow the body to recognize, to allow the mind to recognize that we're going to allow yourself to wind down just a bit, to power down, to release the acceleration. Again, maybe briefly checking into the body and softening any tightness in the jaws, the neck, and the shoulders, and just really letting gravity take over, letting the breath return to normal, just settling into the chair where you are. And now I'll invite you to bring to mind a situation where you are having some difficulty. Again, just mild to moderate, maybe an annoying email or a difficult interaction with another human being or getting stuck in traffic earlier. Just something that has you triggered a bit and you want to have a little more balance in the midst of. And really bring this situation to mind, the circumstances, where it was, the people that may have been there, what was said, what happened or what might happen. Really bring it to mind in whatever way works for you so that you feel a little bit of unease, a little bit of heat in the body, a little tightness. That just lets you know that, yeah, this is a difficult situation. And as you hold this situation and as you hold this unease, I'll invite you to repeat in your mind the following phrase: This is a moment of suffering. This is the mindfulness piece, just saying this gently and kindly. Maybe other words resonate. This is hard. I'm having a hard time here. Or other people would feel this way in this situation. What you're doing is you're allowing yourself to recognize the difficulties that's here and allowing yourself to validate yourself as you would a dear friend. So again, yeah, this is hard. Just let those words soak in, recognizing that you're acknowledging this difficulty here. Then I'll invite you to repeat another phrase: Suffering is part of life. This is the common humanity piece. Perhaps other words resonate, like, yeah, this is hard. Other people would feel this way. Or, you know what? I'm not alone here. I'm not alone, and I'm certainly not broken. This is what it feels like when human beings go through this. And just saying that phrase, I'm not alone here, and letting that soak in too, really allowing your nervous system to recognize that you really are not alone and you're certainly not broken. This is something we all share, and this is just your flavor of it, your experience of it here. And then finally, the self kindness piece. And if any of those hand gestures resonated in any way, I'd invite you to try that here. Just holding this difficulty in mind and bringing your hands to yourself in a supportive way. Feeling the pressure, feeling the warmth or coolness, feeling that flow of caring energy directed towards yourself. And then kind words, words you just need to hear. You know, what do you need to hear in this situation? Maybe something like, may I be kind to myself? May I support myself here? Maybe even something really tender like, hey, I'm here for you and I will always be with you. Or something that represents the strength side of compassion, like, yeah, I've got this. We know what to do. We're going to handle this. It's going to be okay. It's words that you need to hear. And, sometimes this conditioning of being harsh with ourselves goes so deep that we struggle to find words. So I'll invite you to also try a different framework. Imagine a dear friend has experienced this exact same situation, exactly what you've gone through. And what words would you say to your friend to let them know that you're there for them? How would you support your friend? And then can you offer those same words to yourself? Hey, I'm here for you. I care about you. You matter. And you can go ahead and release this practice. So that's just a quick dip into this idea of self compassion. This idea of really making a U turn. Normally, when things go bad, we tend to be very critical and judging of ourselves, which doesn't lead to much happiness. We feel like we need to do that in order to make ourselves behave, but really, that harsh voice does drain our energy and resilience. So, we're looking for that U turn when we struggle, when we're suffering, when things are difficult, just starting by being kind to ourselves, just offering some kind words, a gesture of support. And I'm seeing it's 20 minutes after the hour. Again, all this information we covered in the handouts. And I will turn it back over to April and Rebecca. Thank you guys for doing that with me.
Thanks so much, John, for joining us. And we will be back in 2 weeks. I can't remember the date. It looks like November 2nd. So we will see everyone at that time and look forward to hosting John once again.
Yeah, probably do difficult emotions, probably because finals are coming up at that point or something. I don't know.
Sure.
Do you guys want to hang around and chat afterwards? Just to,
Yeah, sounds good. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you.